Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. What you're going to see in this video is a clip from a presentation titled The People vs. Stu Macher, and where we give evidence and show factual data regarding the injuries sustained by Stu Macher and ask the question, could he have survived? Could you or I survive? That's a great question. So rather than use hyperbole and opinion, let's look at the data. Let's go.
Thank you, Judge Craven, for having me on. I am Killian J. Jacobs, and I represent the estate of a one Killjoy Jake, who I am not. Thank you once again, Judge Craven, for having me, letting me have the floor. I'm very happy you chose me to help talk a little more on this particular objection here, as by day I am a lawyer, but by night I am an electricity-themed superhero, so this is perfect. I will say that given that a television from the year of 1996 normally has 3,500 volts, in normal cases where volts have been fatal are anywhere between 2,700 and 11,000 volts or more. However, there have been many cases that have been an exception, with the TV's voltage being on the low end of being fatal. There is a strong possibility that Stu Macher could have survived from the shock from the television. I want to also say that with CRT televisions, in the very back of them is where the majority of the electrical components are, meaning that his face probably would not have actually gotten to a point where it could have electrocuted him. It was also covered in glass, which, as we may know, does not conduct electricity. Now I would love to turn the floor over to a one Dr. Knight Loomis, who will further discuss this point.
Okay, all right, let's go ahead and let's bring Mr. Loomis into the foyer here. All right, Counselor Loomis, you may continue, sir.
Thank you very much. I also wanted to present something else that I wanted to mention about the idea of Stu dying from electrocution when the TV fell on him. There are also many cases of people surviving direct lightning strikes. So it's very plausible that Stu could survive the TV electrocution. It's been cited statistically that out of every 10 people struck by a lightning bolt, that 9 can survive it. And I wanted to also mention that a single lightning bolt charge can be up to 30 million volts, and the spark is an electrical arc that can be many kilometers long. Now, Judge, I would like to reference a particular case that I wanted to talk about from a gentleman who actually survived a lightning strike in Florida. Now, this was something that was very, very interesting to me because he survived a lightning strike, a direct lightning strike, and he came away with it with just losing his 2 fingers. He did black out at the time, but he was able to survive it. So to me, this is really good evidence that Stu could survive electrocution from this TV. And that is all that I have to present for you, Your Honor.
And Counselor, just to make sure that I heard you correctly, this individual here received a direct lightning strike to his body.
Lightning strike. Yes, he did.
And he survived.
He survived. He blacked out, and then he was actually able to call 911 himself to let them know about his injury. He did have some injuries when he went to the hospital to be taken care of, but the biggest thing he came away with was the fact that he lost two of his fingers.
Wow.
But he did survive. And this happened 2 years ago.
Wow, that's very, very compelling. I would say then that it sounds to me like you would agree that a direct strike of lightning is quite a bit different than what we see here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Wow. That's pretty compelling, Counselor. Thank you for the evidence. and the statistics
you.
there.
Thank
Much
you.
appreciated. Anyone on the panel here? Any of the legal counsel would you like to share? Any other thoughts about the electrocution angle? Although, I mean, that's pretty
I
compelling.
do want to
too.
say one more thing to add to my argument, actually.
Yeah.
We were talking about an earlier case study where there was 199 incidents where a TB landed on a person's head or face. None of these resulted in electrocution as well. This is another thing that I wanted to bring up. All of these incidents all did not result in electrocution or a fatality, too. Something interesting, another interesting thing to this study, which means even if Stu Macher did get electrocuted at some point, he still probably would have survived.
Wow. Interesting. In those cases you brought up just a moment ago, none of them were electrocuted, right?
Yes, and none of them were electrocuted
Yes.
in that case anyways.
In that case. Incredible. Wow.